So there's a
Yeah.
bottled water conspiracy. They want us to spend money, the money that we don't have. We're in the middle of the financial crisis, right? They want us to spend the money
Right.
that we don't have in bottled water, right? So they're gonna make it somehow after all these years
Yeah.
that humanity has waited for the better of it to get the worst out of it and make us spend money on bottled water because we have no free water at all, right? So here in South America, that's how it started. They started having controlling the weather, making droughts, and the
Right.
water table drop, right? So when they did that,
Right.
people had no water, no clean water. A lot of people died of diseases, new viruses, virus outbreaks, a lot of virus outbreaks. And
Right.
then after that, they started telling the people that the pipelines were having trouble and they would have to shut it down, right? After they did it and they fixed the pipelines, okay, they started polluting the rivers and oceans with sewers unnecessarily. And even some of the new constructions and buildings and all, they were already made to come and Anyway, so tell me, David, how do you think? Why do you think they're doing this? This is a good question, right? A lot of people are going to be asking that. Why are they uh, polluting the water, right?
Well, I believe they have several agendas that are on the table. The main one is to put down the control over everyone. See, without water, nobody's going to be able to. You can't travel that far away from water. Just put it that way. If you
Okay, wait a minute,
do,
wait a minute.
then
Are you telling me that they're thinking strategically, like how to control us the easiest way? Is
yeah.
that it?
Like say if you're the military or if you're anybody that wants to control something,
Okay,
if you make sure that this water over here will kill you if you drink it, right?
okay,
But they like say FEMA has crates of bottled water over here. You just got to go to their camp to get it. Well, then they're for now they don't even have to set a trap. They don't even have to go look for you because you're going to come into that water. Yeah, and I mean that's the major controlling factor of why people live next to the coastlines and everything else is because water, right?
Let me ask you something. How does this affect? For example, we have an object in the sky. It's a fact that a lot of people have been recording this object. It could be local. It could be out there. We still don't know. It is a mystery, but it is out there, right? So how do you think this affects this game, this strategy? The play out. How things are playing out. You know what I mean? Like how does this affect the way things are playing out till now? We got the warming. We got these objects in the sky appearing, showing up. The moon's acting weird, looking weird. The sun is
Yeah.
also, and now we got the water situation. How does this all connect? How do you think this connects?
Well, because I believe that there's, well, if you go and you see all the activity that's in our sky that isn't human-made machines or aircraft, I would say that that pretty much the fact that they're destroying and polluting all the water is bringing about more sightings of UFOs because and this world right here is like a big blue beacon to the rest of the universe, and pretty much aliens been using this world to come and like a waypoint where they would pick up supplies, such as water, clean water. Without that, you're going to have a lot more alien sightings as far as UFOs are concerned because they're coming here and they're wondering why the heck their readings on their machines are telling them that it's so contaminated. So, of course, they're going to investigate exactly why that is. And really, why else would the government be spraying over the top of us some crap that's going to kill us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not for us. Maybe they want to. Maybe they want to flush out the aliens that are here, or I
So
don't know.
let's just say that we have a fish god alien race right in our planet, and they want to flush them out. So you're saying that maybe by contaminating the water is the easiest way to make them show up. For example, you want to kill a beaver or whatever, something that makes holes, right? The first thing you
Right.
do, you poison the hole, right? You send some bomb, some gas bomb,
Exactly.
something like right, exactly right, and you make it come out of
Yeah.
this hole. Do you think that's what they're trying
Right.
to do?
And then you put a shovel on its head. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Wait a
Yeah. I
minute. So
believe
do
that's
you think the Death Star could be the shovel?
it. Very well could be. They could have. Nothing's going to be surprising me nowadays because I've seen them lie about everything, but I've seen that their lies that they're not so convincing of lies that I would even take their word for it. But a lot of people seem to agree with the media, and really they're agreeing with crap because the media ain't putting nothing out there for us. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So people like to remain uninformed. They like to be, treated as sheep or cattle, and that's the terrible thing about it is. And so when you got a bunch of sheep and cattle that'll follow anything, well, you grab a hold of the water and they'll really follow you then. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They can make you do anything over water. People will kill each other if there is no water for the last drink. You know what I mean?
There's supposedly a conspiracy that goes around water being the reason for the Third World War. Have you heard about it?
Yes, I believe that it's
but I think there's something in the Bible also saying about that being one of the reasons for the end of times. But
yeah.
But as far as I know, it could be. The Bible did predict a lot of things that did happen and still some to come. But not only that, I see that they have been beta testing on some places, making these water crises. I've just uploaded a video on Al Gore. Al Gore explains the situation, how to make the droughts and the water tables drop by using chemtrails. Right. So it's what you said, David. The chemtrails might not the chemtrails might not even be for us, which is
exactly.
We got something in the sky. We don't know what it is, right? And
right.
They may be drawing the aliens out of their holes, right? So this may be an alien
right.
war, right? This may be actually an alien, some kind of alien war. And now the big question is, how do we save ourselves from this? How do we keep our waters okay?
Well, that's just it. Here in the United States, they they have this thing called, it's kind of like having mineral rights, water and mineral rights on your property. Well, even though you have the water and mineral rights on your property, did you discuss with them how deep your water and mineral rights go? So, a lot of people get burned out of their water rights on their property because they only have, say, 400 feet before their rights go away. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So maybe the water table's at 500 feet. You can't even drill that low because you'll go to jail for stealing their water.
That's true.
You understand? Okay, so on my reservation, the Morongo Indian Reservation near Banning in Riverside County, the tribal council has gone and made a contract with both Arrowhead Water Bottling and Nestle Water Bottling. Well, the thing about that is the Nestle CEO, he stated outright in public that water should not be a public right. So I believe that those two companies right there, one's Switzerland, one's American, I believe that those two companies have a little bit more power than they should as far as in the water bottle
industry
producing. Right? Yeah. So I believe those two have a lot of power with as far as like people's water rights, because why else would a federal tribe, federally recognized tribe, allow them to keep draining the aquifer in that area? You know what I mean? I believe because they can't stop them now that they let them in there.
That's a very, very bad situation. You mentioned that earlier. Could you explain that situation to us, just for the subscribers to understand a little bit of what's happening with this place that you talked about, that Nestle?
Well, where I grew up, it's called the Morongo Indian Reservation, and we're located right near Banning in Riverside County, about 20 miles west of Palm Springs, 100 miles east of LA. So we're right there in the San Antonio Mountains, and underneath that mountain, there's a humongous aquifer right there. And really, the water table used to be like you stick a shovel in the ground and you're in the water table.
Wow.
Literally right there. And it's because of the San Andreas fault line, which runs right through our mountains right there, and allows a lot of water that's caused from hydrofraction, which is when the plates shift and move, they create cracks, fissures, whatever have you. And the water comes up out of the natural, like a natural well kind of. Well, when Arrowhead got kicked out of the city of Arrowhead for practically draining the lake up on top of the mountain, it was like 60 foot below normal water level, in the lake. And they couldn't even walk out to their docks and get on their boats because the boats were 60 feet below the docks.
Wow.
So they had to kick Arrowhead out of there. Well, of course, Arrowhead's not going to give up on their business, because they're still a powerful entity as far as corporations are concerned. So they talked my tribe into this contract, which was a silly contract. And the tribes of the United States, they have their water rights. They're allowed to do whatever they want with their water. But so they go off and they make a deal with Arrowhead first. Well, they put in these water pumps up there in the canyons that I live, in the mountains where I live, and I could see if they had one big pump set up in well, but they have like over a dozen in say Potrero Canyon, which is a canyon right behind my house on the Indian reservation, and then they have like 5 of them going up through Millard Canyon, which is on the other side, and but they pump 22,000 gallons an hour. Those water pumps, the wellheads,
That's a lot of water.
and now why would they have to pump 22,000 gallons an hour? Well, because they're getting ready for this. I believe they're hooked right dead into the whole issue here is that they will be the controlling factor over who gets any water and who don't, especially after the CEO of Nestle company came out and said that water should not be a public right. So
I believe they're basically getting water for free underground and selling it to us, basically
right.
making money and on our stupidity, and we are letting them do it because they have this. They're the bullies, right? They're the kind of bullies, right?
Well,
And
definitely. And if you get too loud about it, then they'll probably slam you in jail.
yeah,
But oh yeah. So let me reiterate on that. Yeah. So I believe that the Arrowhead and the Nestle water bottling companies, I believe they are very powerful entities, and they're the ones that are basically tapped into my tribe's groundwater. And that water, just like the Arrowhead commercial says, it says nowhere only 1/100 billionth of a percentage of the Earth's fresh water is filtered as pure as this water is from there. I mean, this water is so good. You could drink it out of the stream still. You don't have to worry about catching Giardia or any kind of weird, stuff like that. I mean, come right out of the ground in the mountains, you could drink that stuff up, no problem, no boiling, no nothing. So it's the purest water actually in the world, and you can look this up as far as like the water, who has the purest water. And first it goes Desert Hot Springs, which actually Desert Hot Springs gets the water from the same aquifer and from the same source. The San Andreas fault line, allows all that to get into this aquifer in the first place. So it's the world's purest water at this point, and really, just like how Chapel Hill is the way that whole area all the way around that mountain, once they get through pumping it all out of the ground, it's going to be just like Chapel Hill all the way around that whole entire mountain. So there won't be any reason for anybody to live there. They won't be able to sanitize their businesses, clean their hotel rooms. They won't be able to do much of anything without any water. So I don't understand why my tribe would even go forth and try to sell their water. And if so, why they didn't do it themselves? They built the factory. They built the factory on their own land. So when Arrowhead and Nestle are done sucking all the water out of there, then they can easily just break the contract and just say, well, we're out of here, because they ain't going to lose nothing. They didn't pay for nothing to be built or put it on their land. So really, I believe those two entities and just about any other water bottling company, I believe they're more powerful than anybody gives them credit for. Hello?
David, let me ask you a question. I'm here. Sorry.
Sorry.
Did you? Well, Al Gore. I'm sorry. I was something happened here in the connection. I was talking to you and no reply. Now I think it's back.
Okay.
Al Gore is somehow involved in the global warming conspiracy. I've been told, right? And
Well, yeah.
what do you think about Al Gore now with this water thing going on? Do you think he's behind this somehow?
I believe he's bought into it.
Like investing in water, maybe, and stuff like that.
I think he bought right into the whole deal. You know what I mean? I think at first he was probably trying to crusade the what do you call it, the green team. You know what I mean, more or less.
Okay.
But I believe now that he's changed his whole I believe he's involved with it big time now. You know what I mean?
Okay,
And
maybe
not on a good side, but
they got to him. Maybe they got to him. And what do you
yeah.
think Trump will do in the face of a water crisis? I
Well,
mean, like this is really they're doing the same thing that happened here, and I don't think this is the president doing it. I think this is a shadow government with a plan. Okay.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
global.
would.
It's global. So what do you think Trump will do about it? Do you think he's gonna?
I think Trump is going to fold up, and here soon he's going to fold on everything that he said he was going to do, and he's going to wind up reneging on everything because I don't believe that he's going to even have the backing in the Senate or any of that to in Congress. I believe he's,
He's probably
they're
not gonna have the
going to fold
backing
all
in the
his.
Congress.
Yeah, so I don't think he'll be getting anywhere anytime soon. And when it comes to water, nobody, when faced with the thought of not having any water, people will break. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's the fact of the matter is people will break. Um, so
I think
you would
that's
have to
what they
have
want to do. I think they want to break people so they'll do things they would never think they do in a situation of
exactly
complete crisis. And that's kind of zombify the people. They're trying to zombify the people. Cripple the financial situation, the health situation, and the water situation. They get you in their hands. And I
you
think,
couldn't even march an army. You can't even
yeah,
march an army with having water.
yeah, exactly. And they have robots, they have drones, missiles, GPS, right? Um, Now, what's most interesting is that I think it's still time for us to do something about it. Like, you know, I think the talking about it with people is already a good thing. Making people aware of the fact that maybe they are screwing with the water on purpose, and explain, one by one why they do that. We're in the middle of a financial crisis, right? So,
Right,
a global financial crisis. They need to get the money out of somewhere, and water is free, right?
right.
Seventy
Basically,
percent, 70% of the sand, all the sand on the bottom of the oceans have been used, so they can't use sand anymore. So they'll use
because of
water.
Fukushima.
Well, yeah, no, the sand situation is if they use sand, earthquakes will happen and the continents will shift. What holds the continents, and I did not know this, is the sand on the bottom of the ocean. It works like a glue. Okay,
Right,
so yeah, when you remove that glue, continents shift. If they do that,
exactly.
they will shift. So they're using water, but the same thing will happen if they dry up the continents. It will shift also. Actually, it will drown, go down. So remember Atlantis. Atlantis may have
Yes,
been, may have gone down because they just, ended up with the water resources, you know,
right,
drained all the water tables, all the aquifers, and suddenly it goes down.
right.
It's possible. It's very possible. So there are even people who have maps of the future world, right? Future continents, right? After a big event. So if you take all into consideration all the facts, we got a planet or something, more than one planet maybe in the sky. We may be living in a bigger district, whatever. Now they're trying to make the water polluted as max as they can. This is obvious. Maybe to attract the aliens out of their holes, start a war, whatever.
Well,
I will stick with the alien thing. I think they're trying to draw them out of their holes, and I think they want their technology.
I believe so too.
Yes.
I believe that exactly. That's why there's more sightings of UFOs, more all that stuff. Because with water, it's like a bait. You know what I mean? People, animals, everything, anything that's alive like us have to have water. And if there's none in a certain area, they move. They're going to move to where there is water.
Right.
And and what better way to draw in the masses when all this breaks down than to have control over the water?
And where it's going to be. Perfect. Exactly. Uh,
Because you won't even have people fighting you. I mean, you'll have them fighting you if you don't give them the water, but if you're rationing it out to them, then you have control over them.
it's impressive. I think they've done that in the past, maybe in Africa or whatever, wherever they did that. Maybe ancient Egypt. You know,
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't a desert. Maybe it was a beautiful place. and
Yeah.
they desertify it just like they are doing right now with California, for example. And the worst thing is that they start giving these excuses, right? For instance, grass is prohibited, like no grass at all because grass consumes water, right?
Yeah,
So
you're not allowed to water your
ex-
grass at certain hours.
exactly. So you have to see your grass die and all the vegetation die with it. So, oh, because there's only one type of tree that can survive this. Come on, really? So they're transforming everything into a desert, and I don't think it's fun to see it do happening. I hope that people get aware of the situation as soon as possible. They're doing it on purpose. They start by messing with the pipes. You know, Afterwards they start messing with the bottled water situation. The water crisis,
Yep.
and then they start polluting the free water, the rivers and lakes, and then it's too late. You know.
I mean, you realize how much the Japanese people must be paying for water over there right now?
Oh sure, yeah, very
They're
expensive.
probably getting hit pretty hard for the price of a bottled water.
$20, I bet, for
Yeah,
one
for clean
bottle.
water. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it is a commodity, and I think
Especially the more you contaminate it, the more you contaminate, the more people are going to need your product.
sure, the more expensive it will become. And I think that people who see opportunity, David, people who see opportunity in these things, they will not skip it. You know what I mean? They prefer to see their children die, but get $20 million a day. Than you know what I mean? This is greed.
Yeah.
It's greed. So the alien sighting is true. You see out there many channels who work with alien sightings. It's ridiculous. It's two,
Yeah.
three alien sightings per day at least, and
I mean, there's a lot of good footage out there now. I
whoa,
mean, recent.
a lot of good footage, and you can see that. Uh, not only that people are seeing two suns, three suns, four suns. If they don't see that, they see something else like the chemtrailing. They catch the chemtrailing. It's absurd. Absurd. Um,
Right.
the noises in the sky that some people theorize that are actually tunnels, escape tunnels when the shit goes down. Shit goes down and the VIPs are gonna go escape by tunnels, whatever. And
Yeah.
there was a theory that they were actually closing the tunnels. For example, not tunnels but caves, right? Parks. You go to a
Right.
park, there are caves. Some people have been
Right.
talking about these caves. They're closing, shutting down the caves, putting grids to protect it so you can't go in or out, right? So
Right.
they may be actually just enclosing us into a major crisis where we're going to be like zombies killing each other, not able to escape it. Um,
Right.
I do have my doubts though. I think that humans know how to get together, and if they do, it will be a lesson learned, and they will learn how to get through it. Um, how do you think, for example, if they can't, David, they can't pollute all the aquifers, all the ocean, it's kind of impossible. They have been trying to, but I've heard that also, like
Well,
global warming, it is a myth that they will be able to exterminate free water. So, where do you think people will go or could go when something like this happens, breaks down?
well, they're going to have to go where the water's at.
Do you think they could find good water underground, like dig deep and find it?
Well, the thing about Fukushima is that it's being picked up in the rain. It's carrying it all across the northern hemisphere. Cesium and all that stuff. So if that's the case, then they've already created the perfect polluter of all the water, the top water, all the water that's exposed to the environment. That's why they're so interested in my tribe's aquifer, is because it's underneath the ground and it's still pure. It's not contaminated yet with any nucleoids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Therefore, that's going to be the most precious water. Well, when they run to those dumbs, the deep underground military bases, they got to have water from somewhere. I mean, they don't want the water from the top side because it's already contaminated by that radiation in heavy amounts too. They're snowballing on the amounts that are actually in our water and everything else. So they're definitely not telling us the truth about that. So they're pulling all that water out from underneath where I live in California, and they're bottling that up. Yes, they sell it out to the public, but they sell it to the public, and they're also stacking that stuff right up inside all of them military bases that are underground. How else are they going to survive without some pure water? You know what I mean?
Yes. So you think they're stacking up water?
Yeah, definitely.
And so you think that Germany, a couple of months ago, when they said to stack up water and food, they weren't kidding. Maybe that was actually a real thing, right?
Yeah, they said that outright, that people need to start at least having a few weeks. But you know how much water that would be to store to have for just 2 weeks, much less a whole lifetime.
Have no idea.
Does that's billions of gallons of water. Like say for one of those DUMBs, the deep underground military bases, probably millions, maybe even billions of gallons of water have to be stored, down there, in order for say 100 people to live on that. You know,
Well,
we're not going to invite everybody down there. That's for darn sure.
sure, sure. Who do you think in the political side, right? Who do you think profits most out of one of these water crises?
Well, I think who's going to profit the most is not necessarily the government, but they need the government backing in order to have that control. But I believe it's the water bottling people. They buy the water rights, from certain places where they know where there's aquifers with clean water, and once they have control over that legally, well, they've got the power over everyone at that point, even the government. The government will have to buckle just because they're going to want some water too,
Sure,
And legally, if they can't take it from them legally, then they're going to have to buckle to what they say. You know what I mean?
sure. So the
So I
government
believe those.
can take that water if they want to, or part of it. Now, let me ask you something. Do you think that they have been doing pipelines and taking water from places like in your story, you state that they literally they make well, how did you put it? You said that you got into an agreement, right? You got into an
Right, the
agreement with
contract that they have.
exactly, exactly. So do you think that they're doing this with not tribes, but people, around the world, like all over, getting into agreements and having access to these free aquifers and using this water to bottle them and sell it. Um, because if they're going to force in a water crisis, we have to admit it that they must be prepared for with the solution. Do you agree? They bring the problem
Right,
and the solution, really. So this is how they do it, right? So the
right.
solution would be bottled water plus some type of source of water that they would have for us to bathe in and whatever, unless they're gonna make it expensive, very
Very
expensive,
expensive.
very expensive. Yes. Um,
Yes.
okay, so you think that's not so far from the truth? What's maybe happening?
No, I believe that's exactly what they're doing. Now, the why is the whole thing. Is why would they do this? I mean, they got to realize that they're damaging the the earth and all of our food sources at the same time.
Oh, sure.
I
Well,
mean,
that's a very good question.
let's say
All right. First thing,
let's say just the Pacific. Go ahead.
sorry, but
Okay.
you can continue. Sorry, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Say the Pacific Ocean. Now, it's not just the water that they contaminated. It's a big food source that they contaminated. Therefore, you know, and the Asians, they like fish. All them people over there, they eat a lot of fish. If there is no fish, now they just caused a big food shortage on top of that. You know, just by contaminating the Pacific Ocean. So it goes a lot deeper than just water. But the water will bring people closer and into their control faster because you can only live 3 days without it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think that's one of the purposes.
Yeah. So that will move their plans a lot faster, with a lot less resistance
And
if they hold back water.
if they listen, what do you think about they're doing all this with the water, right? And what if it doesn't work out the way they expect it to work out, David? For example, you asked why, right? Why are they doing this, right?
Right.
What if we have more water than they're saying and they know it, right? What if we have two extra oceans with pure crystalline water and they're not talking about it? Let's just say that the map that we received that we talked about before, the one that we have 9 oceans instead of 7, and these extra 2 oceans are actually quite big, What if they know about this and that's why they don't care? Because I was watching Al Gore talk about it, and Al Gore was pretty sure that nothing was going to happen to this planet, He was like pretty sure. that there was no problem at all in throwing pollution into the air and the water. And I've been asking myself that for quite a long time. How are these guys so sure nothing's gonna hit their asses again? Like it's not gonna come back.
Right. So they got themselves a foolproof, plan is what you're saying, a backup.
I'm saying that they know more than they're talking about, and they're profiting off this knowledge. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as
Right.
you have a pizza, but you only show half of it, and you say you only have half of it, but you keep the other half to yourself.
Right.
It's a very old political game strategy, and when one
Exactly.
uses to maintain power without the other knowing he is maintaining the power, right?
Right. I
So
believe that they're trying to finish off because this election kind of blew their plans, not getting Hillary in there. You know what I mean?
that's possible.
So it blew a lot of their plans. So now they're stepping forward and they're going to do it with the water instead. They're going to use that, and that would bring people more to the table than anything is water.
Right.
Water's going to drag. It's like you know.
Okay, let's leave it at that, David. It was a very
All
big
right,
pleasure having you
it's good
here.
talking, man.
Have a
All
great
right,
night. Bye bye.
you too. Be safe.
Thank you. You too. So there's a
Yeah.
bottled water conspiracy. They want us to spend money, the money that we don't have. We're in the middle of the financial crisis, right? They want us to spend the money
Right.
that we don't have in bottled water, right? So they're gonna make it somehow, after all these years
Yeah.
that humanity has waited for the better of it, to get the worst out of it and make us spend money on bottled water because we have no free water at all, right? So here in South America, that's how it started. They started having controlling the weather, making droughts, and the water table drop, right? So when they did that,
Right.
people had no water, no clean water. A lot of people died of diseases, new viruses, virus outbreaks, a lot of virus outbreaks. And
Right.
then after that, they started telling the people that the pipelines were having trouble and they would have to shut it down, right? After they did it and they fixed the pipelines, okay, they started polluting the rivers and oceans with sewers unnecessarily. And even some of the new constructions and buildings and all, they were already made to come and Anyway, so tell me, David, how do you think? Why do you think they're doing this? This is a good question, right? A lot of people are going to be asking that. Why are they uh, polluting the water, right?
Well, I believe they have several agendas that are on the table. The main one is to put down the control over everyone. See, without water, nobody's going to be able to. You can't travel that far away from water. Just put it that way. If
Okay,
you
wait a minute,
do,
wait a minute.
then
Are you telling me that they're thinking strategically, like how to control us the easiest way? Is
yeah.
that it?
Like say if you're the military or if you're anybody that wants to control something,
Okay,
if you make sure that this water over here will kill you if you drink it, right?
okay,
But they like say FEMA has crates of bottled water over here. You just got to go to their camp to get it. Well, then they're therefore now they don't even have to set a trap. They don't even have to go look for you because you're going to come into that water. Yeah, and I mean that's the major controlling factor of why people live next to coastlines and everything else is because water, right?
Let me ask you something. How does this affect? For example, we have an object in the sky. It's a fact that a lot of people have been recording this object. It could be local. It could be out there. We still don't know. It is a mystery, but it is out there, right? So how do you think this affects this game, this strategy? The play out. How things are playing out. You know what I mean? Like how does this affect the way things are playing out till now? We got the warming. We got these objects in the sky appearing, showing up. The moon's acting weird, looking weird. The sun is also, and now you got the water situation. How does this all connect? How do you think this connects?
Well, because I believe that there's, well, if you go and you see all the activity that's in our sky that isn't human-made machines or aircraft, I would say that that pretty much the fact that they're destroying and polluting all the water is bringing about more sightings of UFOs because and this world right here is like a big blue beacon to the rest of the universe, and pretty much aliens been using this world to come and like a waypoint where they would pick up supplies, such as water, clean water. Without that, you're going to have a lot more alien sightings as far as UFOs are concerned because they're coming here and they're wondering why the heck their readings on their machines are telling them that it's so contaminated. So, of course, they're going to investigate exactly why that is. And really, why else would the government be spraying over the top of us some crap that's going to kill us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not for us. Maybe they want to flush out the aliens that are here, or I don't know.
Let's just say that we have a fish god alien race right in our planet, and they want to flush them out. So you're saying that maybe by contaminating the water is the easiest way to make them show up. For example, you want to kill a beaver or whatever, something that makes holes, right? The first thing you
Right.
do, you poison the hole, right? You send some bomb, some gas bomb,
Exactly.
something like right, exactly right, and you make it come out of
Yeah.
this hole. Do you think that's what they're trying
Right.
to do?
And then you put a shovel on its head. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Wait a
Yeah. I
minute. So
believe
do
that's
you think the Death Star could be the shovel?
it. Very well could be. They could have. Nothing's going to be surprising me nowadays because I've seen them lie about everything, but I've seen that their lies that they're not so convincing of lies that that I would even take the word for it. But a lot of people seem to agree with the media, and really they're agreeing with crap because the media ain't putting nothing out there for us. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So people like to remain uninformed. They like to be, treated as sheep or cattle, and that's the terrible thing about it is. And so when you got a bunch of sheep and cattle that'll follow anything, well, you grab a hold of the water and they'll really follow you then. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They can make you do anything over water. People will kill each other if there is no water for the last drink. You know what I mean?
There's supposedly a conspiracy that goes around water being the reason for the Third World War. Have you heard about it?
Yes,
I
and I
don't. I
believe
don't.
that there's pretty much that.
But I think there's something in the Bible also saying about that being being one of the reasons for the end of times. But
Yeah,
but as far as I know, it could be. The Bible did predict a lot of things that did happen and still some to come. But not only that, I see that they have been beta testing on some places, making these water crises. I've just uploaded a video on Al Gore. Al Gore explains the situation, how to make the droughts and the water tables drop by using chemtrails.
right.